Good evening, everyone. Someone said I was doing a Beyonce kind of thing, and I'm like, I don't have the legs. So it's a great time to begin and launch our 30th year at IMSA. And what better way than to lay the groundwork for our future next 30 years than by breaking new ground for it and paving IMSA's future. Today, I'd like to share a few remarks with you before introducing our speakers. First, I'd like to recognize some of our elected officials, and I want to make sure that I get them right. So first, Senator Linda Holmes and State Representative Linda Chapalavia are here with us. They have been great champions of IMSA and continue to recognize IMSA's role in providing a leadership role around diverse workforce and promoting Illinois' economic development. We also have Representative Fortner, Representative Wheeler, Mayor Golsinski, right here. We also, I believe, have staff from House Representative Foster, including Maria Manzo and Tanner Edwards, right here. We also have staff from House Representative Hultgren, Beth Goncher and Susan Russell, right here. Our very own Board of Trustee Leslie Juby is in the house somewhere. There she is. And I'll introduce our speakers in a second. So with that, I'd like to, in September of last year, our board adopted IMSA's Impact and Outcomes. The IMSA Impact Statement says that by 2022, IMSA will be a recognized global leader and catalyst for equity and excellence in STEM teaching and learning and innovation and inquiry. And we drive that outcome through developing STEM leaders, by developing STEM leaders, STEM thinkers, and STEM doers, by developing tools and curricula for our schools to use, and by leading the efforts in developing networks around Illinois' innovation ecosystem and demonstrating our own leadership in that way. As you know, our mission statement is to ignite and nurture creative, ethical, scientific minds that advance the human condition. And that mission actually thrust forward our own IMSA outcomes. And so presently, our most important part that we do is our reigniting and recentering ourselves as a learning laboratory. And with the help of Jessica Drossi-Yagan, and I'll recognize her in a minute, with our presidential committee on social entrepreneurship, we have been really thinking about how do we embed social entrepreneurship into the fabric of our institution, both in the academy, as well as in the resident halls, as well as through the professional field services. So you might ask yourself, why on earth don't you think it's strange that we are breaking ground at a time that Illinois is suffering one of the major budget crises in its history? Are you wondering that? Okay. So we're doing that because we have to build our future. We have to build the future that IMSA wants. We have to meet the needs that the state requires, and we have to build a future that our IMSA amazing students and our amazing faculty deserve. IMSA has been around for almost nearly 30 years, and we believe that we have confidence that in our elected officials as well as in ourselves that we will be around for another 30 years, graduating amazing alum as we have in the past. And we have some amazing alum. We have with us Mike McCool, Robert Chang, who have been across the country doing incredible work. We also have alum here in the state of Illinois. Jessica Drossi-Yagan, Jason also is in the state, but Jessica and Sam have been recognized by Crain's Chicago Business as 50 in tech to watch for. So we are doing some amazing things with our alum, and we believe that our facilities need to be designed to provide opportunities for our educators to help prepare our students for the future that we can scarcely imagine, but which in fact they will design and create. So with that, I'd like to say that, in fact, the kinds of environment that we want to create are ones in which our students can contribute and actually create a world that significantly influence life on our planet. And I'd like to end with a quote from our founder, Dr. Letterman, who said, "If we do what we know and feel is right, it is bound to happen that among our graduates there will be numbered scientists, engineers, and graduates who earn degrees in laws and letters. There are likely to be those few who will create new intellectual worlds, who may cure a dreaded human ailment, who might significantly influence life on our planet. Our philosophy will be to treat our charges as if each one is capable of this extraordinary achievement. Only one such product will make that effort and expense of this school for its entire duration worthwhile." And in fact, in CleverSafe, we have some alum who have, I call it the CleverSafe Mafia. We have 4 alum who are part of this organization that have enormous patents in the state, and you'll hear much more about it in the next few years. Dr. Letterman and our board of trustees adopted this proclamation, and we entitled it, this is what we mean by when we say we are enrolling in possibility. So I invite you to enroll in our possibility. Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce our speakers. Our speakers include our chairman of the board of trustees, Sheila Griffin. She will be followed by Dr. Ross Hemphill, who is president of the IMSA Fund Board, who will be followed by our principal, Dr. Marie Dallet. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Torres. Good evening. I'm Sheila Griffin, chairman of the IMSA Board of Trustees, and I'm honored to be part of IMSA's family and extended network since the beginning, now 30 years ago. And it never fails to amaze me how incredibly resourceful and forward-thinking IMSA people can be when it comes to creating the best possible environment for teaching and learning of our residential students and others that we serve. The staff and faculty involved in helping us break new ground on IMSA's future, in particular Dr. Dave Duvall and Britta McKenna, are to be highly commended for leading these projects during challenging times. So thank you. As a founding trustee, I want to briefly share some historical context on how we got here today. You already know that IMSA students are very unique, but did you know that they spend up to 75% of their science class time in lab facilities? Many of these facilities were built in the 1970s. Our new lab facilities, coupled with modern technology, will maximize our talented students' abilities. IMSA's master facilities plan, which includes the Science Laboratories renovation project, will set IMSA on a path to remain and grow as the gem of Illinois. As I and the founding team, including Nobel Prize winning scientist Dr. Leon Letterman and our former chairman, Jim Pearson, and our former president, Dr. Stephanie Marshall, and many others, envisioned when we created IMSA in 1985, I'm glad we are joined by IMSA's founding president, as I mentioned, Dr. Stephanie Pace Marshall, as well as Jim, and all of the others in this audience today who continue to help IMSA realize its fullest potential. And in the 2007-2008 academic year, the Board of Trustees approved, as part of our strategic plan, the stretch goal to create a STEM innovation hub that would build a community around STEM innovation and entrepreneurship and help get these ideas out of the classroom and into the world. Soon after, we began a conversation with IMSA alumnus and YouTube co-founder Steve Chen, whose vision and interests mirrored and enhanced ours. And subsequently, with a $1 million gift from Steve and his wife Jamie, the center, formerly named IN2, Steve and Jamie Chen Center for Innovation and Inquiry, was born. The Board of Trustees is excited at how this space will ignite collaboration and entrepreneurial activity among students, educators, business, and the community to solve real-world problems, design prototypes, and launch new ideas. These two initiatives are fantastic examples of the wonderful changes and advancements public-private partnerships can have in education. They are being built with funds from the state of Illinois, corporate and foundation contributions, and donations from individuals. Thank you to all of you who are here today to mark this exciting occasion as IMSA continues to pioneer excellent innovations in teaching, learning, and talent development. I'd like to conclude with a quote to ponder. Our progress as a nation can be no swifter than our progress in education. The human mind is our fundamental resource. John Fitzgerald Kennedy. I wish you all a great evening learning more about IMSA and these projects from our faculty, staff, and students, and thank you again for attending. I'd like to now turn over the podium to Dr. Ross Hemphill.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this groundbreaking. I am extremely pleased to serve as the IMSA, or the president of the IMSA Board for the Advancement of Education. This is certainly an important groundbreaking ceremony, in a physical sense, groundbreaking, but I think it's also very interesting that groundbreaking is the fabric of IMSA. It's really the creation of the innovation that is out there, that is helping us with our problems around the world, creating new products, services. It is changing the world, and so basically we're breaking ground in order to build a new facility, but we're also celebrating the groundbreaking culture that is the makeup of IMSA, and I think that is essential to keep that in mind. The IMSA Fun Board, a lot of people think I'm saying fun, but it's and they ask, are you having fun, with this board? But the IMSA Fun Board was created to build a meaningful collaboration with corporations and other parts of the outside world in order to advance this critical knowledge base here at IMSA. I think, as already noted, it was an IMSA alum that's donated a lot of money to seed this effort, Steve Chen, and I should also mention he is a member of the Fund Board. The outside world is anxious to connect with the IMSA faculty and students to help build the skills that they need in Illinois and to inform the curricula that IMSA will scale beyond the walls through professional field services and by sharing its work with the STEM education community. Existing business and startups are essential to Illinois and essential to the Illinois economy and the future of the economy. The research and entrepreneurial capabilities that IMSA develops provides a great partner to those doing research and product development. Congratulations to everyone who was involved in getting this thing started. I look forward to being here when we dedicate the facility. Thank you.
IMSA to innovate the learning laboratory and continue our work of igniting and nurturing the next generation of scientific minds that advance the human condition. On behalf of the entire faculty of IMSA, I want to thank those who have made today possible, led by the state of Illinois, the Tell Labs Foundation, and Steve and Jamie Chen. I also want to thank Dr. Dave Duvall and Britta McKenna, as I've mentioned before, they have spent countless hours over the past several years to make this day possible. Thank you. The Science Lab Renovation Project and IN2 really work together. They are designed to have very similar features, and I hope to show you in the slides so you'll get some idea of some of those features, but also when you get to go out, it'll be a little bit harder to see because they're not there yet, but when you come back and they're there, you'll see it. So these spaces are designed to look like spaces where scientists and entrepreneurs work today. They're not designed as classrooms. They're designed and modeled on spaces that are similar to what folks are using today. There's a focus on collaboration. And there's also enhanced capabilities for real learning in the laboratory and in the IN2. There are going to be new equipment as well as new space. And we hope that these will serve as a model for Illinois and U.S. education. As you've heard, we were founded to spread excellence in math and science education around the state and nation. And our new science labs and IN2 spaces will allow us to try many new educational approaches. Some will fail, and that's okay. But many, we hope, will succeed. And that is the beauty of how IMSA was set up, with the freedom to experiment and learn. These physical spaces will also serve as a showpiece for schools and districts thinking of looking to upgrade their facilities to build Illinois into the 21st century workforce. This is a rendering of the A wing. The science faculty will let you know that we are extraordinarily pleased to be leaving 1970 behind. We are moving into the 21st century, and we are going to be teaching, as I said, in spaces that were designed to look like the laboratories that scientists work in today. For those of you who have had the joy of learning in the A wing, who's been in the A wing? The greenhouse, which apparently nothing ever grew in, is going to be remodeled, as you will notice. There's going to be a new media wall. It's that center space there. And it's going to really be the beginning of a large hub for collaborative work in this team space. There's going to be whiteboards and project areas which will enable students to brainstorm and work in teams on classroom projects and in and outside of class time. You may also notice, for those of you who are familiar with the A wing, the current A wing, really we've broken it up so those two sides have lab benches in it. Right now those are sort of traditional laboratory classrooms, but they've been broken up so they will allow flexible classroom space, open collaborative spaces, ability to teach in multidisciplinary lectures. There are movable walls, so you can imagine having a biology class and a chemistry class and then opening things up to do some collaborative work across that space. They are designed to work on real-world problems and to be extremely flexible. Now, for those of you who really liked the B wing, that is also going to get an upgrade. Largely thanks go to Tell Labs Foundation for the funding for this. This upgrade will include some, nice makeover features, but the most important aspect from our perspective to the big wing is that it's going to be the home to scientific and research equipment found in universities and industry labs. This upgrade is vital to providing our students the opportunity to learn scientific content by applying it to the same questions and settings where groundbreaking knowledge is created. This is not just to give them a heads up when they go to college, although they will get that as part of the background. It is also to help them be part of the pioneering education community. We hope that they will be able to do various things that we've specified here. They will be able to look at biomedical research that lies on our ability to understand living cells, and they'll be able to grow these cells now thanks to the new equipment and the renovation in the space, the ventilation. They will have the ability to do new environmental chemistry work and help us hopefully solve some of our greenhouse gas problems. Now we know, and we've highlighted some of those alums right now, we have had a strong record at IMSA of going into meaningful careers that advance the human condition. Our alumni in attendance, they do embody these, as do our students in attendance as well, and some of our faculty. We increasingly see our students making a difference before they graduate. The students could all stand up so we can see them. Come on, don't be shy, students. Thanks, guys. So turning the ideas generated in IMSA courses and our existing talent and lead entrepreneurship into tangible solutions, our students need the infrastructure and support to make something that works once in a lab, classroom, or dorm into something that can be successfully replicated 100, 1,000, or even 1,000,000 times. That's where IN2 comes into play. IN2 will be housed where the current Student Union and former Kids Institute, and was designed to build on successful spaces like 1871 in Chicago, the MIT Media Lab, and the University of Illinois Enterprise Works. You've heard already how the 6,400 square foot space will help students develop their ideas and serve as a resource to civic organizations, startups, and others seeking technical solutions and support. So this is an incredibly cool space from my perspective as someone who's relatively new. This is a partnership between a high school and public entities in the Fox Valley and in the Chicagoland area. So this is really incredibly innovative, and I think those who were involved in its creation should be applauded for its innovation, and hopefully other schools and other business partners will see the value in bringing students together. There will be lots of collaborative spaces, as we've talked about before. This is the Idea Bar, and I met one of the Idea Baristas. There's probably many of you in the room. So this will be a place to bring in entrepreneurs, investors, and other mentors, like alum and Netscape founding team member Mike McCool, who's here and comes, even without the Idea Bar, he's come and helped our students, but he will serve as an Idea Barista to help students troubleshoot and develop their ideas. If students don't have a project idea, there will be a project board with ideas looking for someone to develop them. This space, in addition to allowing for new ways of collaboration, will also have new facilities, just like the A and B wing. We are going to have a maker space, which will enable students to design and prototype new products and technologies using 3D printers and pens, virtual reality technologies and manufacturing tools, and probably lots of other things that we haven't even really thought about today. IN2 builds on the growing critical mass of design, innovation, and entrepreneurship activities offered to our students and students from all over and around the Chicagoland area. Remember, IN2 is really, really cool. It's not just going to be IMSA, it's going to be all around. Students from all over Chicago can use this facility. It will focus on the 4 pillars that are around the outside: teaching and learning, working with regional educators to develop and share new methods of teaching, innovation, and entrepreneurship; entrepreneurship education, power pitch, business plans, and other activities of its type; maker education, Try It Tuesday, where students and others get to try and learn new technologies like 3D printers to virtual reality tools. And it will influence the STEM talent pipeline development. IN2 will be a place where kids from the community can experience and apply new technologies, build their interest in STEM fields, and just have fun. Now, I have the privilege of introducing Britta. I'm introducing Jeff. I'm not introducing Britta. So I'm introducing Jeff. Dr. Jeff Margolis, the Executive Vice President.
It gets unleashed in a few minutes, then that'll definitely get you excited. So hopefully, hearing what our science labs and our IN2 space will do, you see yourself as part of the community that's going to help our students learn to apply their interest in math and science to solving real-world challenges. Just to get a flavor of who's in the room, do you have business people in the room? Do you work for a business? Okay. Scientists, researchers, educators. Who else do we want to pick on? Nonprofits, a few, and our government friends, elected officials in the front. So we all come together to build a community around these spaces to really help achieve their goals. We've been fortunate to have many people as early adopters and early champions of our work, both from bringing in knowledge and expertise. So for instance, we're excited that the Fox Valley Entrepreneurship Center will have a place in IN2 and bring in their community of startups, both to help our students learn what it takes to turn an idea into a tangible product or service, but also take advantage and partner with our students to help them be more competitive in their businesses. So we are open for partnership, and I hope that you all will have a conversation with myself or others about how you might want to get involved with our space. So we've already heard that the cost of construction was, a big hurdle to getting started, and we're very fortunate again for our partners, the state of Illinois, the Tell Labs Foundation, and Steve and Jamie Chen for helping us get on the road. So you've heard this term public-private partnership, and so we're also fortunate to have many folks who have seen the value in what we're trying to do step up as early supporters and donors to help us furnish and equip these spaces so that they can do what they're intended to do. So one of the things that we wanted to do today was to acknowledge and thank these leadership donors for what they've done. And as part of our Breaking New Ground campaign, hopefully many, many more people will help own a part of IMSA's future. So what we're going to ask is that we have our friends and donors in the front row. in the second row. As I call your name, if you could stand and just sort of line up around the front. If we could hold our applause just until everyone's up, and then we can thank everyone together. I should have mentioned that we're very grateful that even before we've really gone out and started to look for partners and funders, we've been very fortunate to have 45 donors step up and be part of the team. So again, look forward to many, many more to come. So from the Ball Foundation, we have Jarayaj Alapat. People don't listen to directions. From the BP Foundation, we have our IMSA Fund Board member, Cynthia Manfredi. We have IMSA alum and charter class member, Robert Cheng, and thanks to his wife, Ginger, as well. Robert flew in from New York to be part of this groundbreaking. From ComEd, which has been a long-standing partner of IMSA, we have Sylvia Rogowski. Always happy to welcome back our President Emerita, Dr. Stephanie Pace Marshall, who's also representing the Fry Foundation today, as well as being a major donor herself. We have former Fund Board member Herb Knight, and who's raising money in honor of Nancy Knight. Then we have Ross Hemphill. Where did Ross go? And his wife, Joyce. People were out of order and was screwing me up. We have Mike McCool, who's already been acknowledged, who flew in from the Bay Area for today. We have Founding Board of Trustee Chairman Jim Pearson and his wife, Marlene. Keith Rich, who's representing the Rich Foundation. Keith has been instrumental, along with Jim and others, in the IN2 Advisory Council and helping us develop that space. From the Tell Labs Foundation, we have Chris Burke and Denise Kellerman. It's the challenge of having a lot of donors. You have a lot of people to recognize. We welcome back IMSA Ambassador Kathy Veal. And last but certainly not least, we have Jessica Droste-Yagan, and her husband Sam couldn't be with us today. And we also have Dr. Torres, who's here somewhere. So now, there we go. And we have Dr. Torres' wife, Isabel, as well. So really, without these donors, we wouldn't be able to be breaking ground today. And so we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. So I encourage you during the reception to come talk to them and hear why they're excited about the work that we're doing. And hopefully it'll rub off on everyone else. So obviously this excitement comes, thank you everyone. So I think you've heard the word excitement a lot today, collaboration, community, and it's all centered around students. And so happy to invite our Chief Innovation Officer and mastermind behind IN2, Britta McKenna, to introduce some of our seniors who are going to share some of their thoughts on why they're excited about the projects we're talking about.
Thank you, Jeff. So the heart of IMSA is our students, right? So we picked 5 of our seniors who won't even be here when the science labs are finished or when IN2 is finished. But we have some that actually, they've been part of the planning. So we picked 5, and I didn't just want them to write a speech. I gave them a challenge. In social media style, I said, develop a tweet, 140 characters, and a paragraph, 140 words. So I have with me, I have Heidi Dong, our student council president. She'll be followed by Tavis Reed, who will talk about science labs. And we have Crystal Quinones, and we also have Faith Hill, is going to talk about Socient and IN2, and Nick Rodriguez. And they're all seniors, and we will start. I'll pass the microphone. We're going to start with Heidi Dong.
Advancing the human condition. 4 words that every IMSA student has heard countless times, and yet too often we find this goal daunting. But with the addition of IN2 and the renovations to the science labs, we are all a step closer to realizing this vision. Creation and collaboration should go hand in hand, and with these new spaces, students have more opportunity than ever to explore, investigate, and learn. Got an idea? Head to IN2. Want an environment that encourages, more than ever, teamwork, discussion, and hands-on learning? There's a place for that too. These innovative spaces create new environments for teaching and for the exchange of knowledge. The future students of IMSA will inherit not just these physical spaces, but also the interconnectedness and the freedom to experiment that define them.
The updating of IMSA's science classrooms will allow students and teachers alike to take their research to the next level. Already, students both in the SIR program as well as in independent studies have conducted research that is impressive at a high school level. With this new tech equipment, students and teachers will be able to conduct research that will be impressive on an undergraduate or even a graduate level. Students will not only be able to work on a wider range of research areas, but will be able to do so much more quickly. This investment will help better prepare students for research off campus, as well as prepare them to perform outstanding research in college. I am certain that students will be amazed by technology available to them and will be inspired to pursue science in college and beyond.
The impact of IMSA renovated science labs will be felt not only on campus, but in waves across Illinois. Students from all over the state pass through these hallways even before they become students of the academy. The summer and academic year programs IMSA hosts, such as Allies and Promise, expose future scientists to topics and opportunities that can influence the rest of their academic careers. The equipment available to them, paired with the space to think big, will help them dream bigger. With the experiments and research future students are able to conduct, their curiosity will be piqued and their skills developed. The renovated science labs will be a perfect foundation for future doctors, engineers, mathematicians, and scientists.
Starting last year, I began to hear more and more about IN2, and it immediately captured my attention. This year, I decided to participate in the IN2 intersession to get a better idea of what IN2 will offer. My involvement in the sophomore social entrepreneurship course, SOCENT, is what really drove my curiosity. What I learned is that IN2 will be IMSA's new opportunity to connect learning with real-world problems, new ideas, community resources, and mentors. Through IN2, students will be able to create their own social ventures, continue the work they started for SOCENT, or work with already existing projects or problem teams to further their cause. I'm incredibly excited for the place that social entrepreneurship will have at IN2 because it will both help IMSA advance the human condition and provide the opportunity for more students to explore their passions.
My sophomore year, I went on the very first IN2 intersession trip, then known simply as the Innovation Hub. On that trip, I was introduced to the concept of entrepreneurship and the incredible opportunities that an entrepreneurial mindset presents. For the first time, I witnessed the power of open collaboration in the innovative process. Once exposed, I immediately understood the impact this culture could have at IMSA, and I knew I wanted to be involved in crafting a home for it. Creating a system and a physical space that encourages the pursuit of one's entrepreneurial passions is representative of IMSA's core values and offers tremendous potential for the future of this school. IN2 has already influenced my life, and I can't wait to see how IN2 will impact the entire IMSA community once it's built.
With IN2, the science labs have already begun, so I'm telling you, groundbreaking is here. We actually planned this in November and picked the date. It's great. So with us today, we have Steve Chen, all the way from Palo Alto. He's joining us, and he's going to say a few words. Steve?
Hello, everyone. I wish I could be with everyone right now, but right now I'm over 2,000 miles away in Palo Alto, where, as I checked right before this call, it's exactly 70 degrees today. And I also checked 40 degrees in Chicago area right now. Sorry. Right across the street is where PayPal got its start, and it's also where I got my first job in Silicon Valley back in 1999. And right now I'm a building where we're working on our new startup with an exciting product that's going to be unveiled actually next week. It's been a while since I think I've been inside a YouTube video. This is YouTube Live. This wasn't a feature until a few months ago. And I think the last time I was inside a YouTube video was over a decade ago, back in 2005, right before YouTube publicly launched. And a lot's changed since then. But anyway, that's enough about me. I'm really excited to be joining everyone here for this special occasion for the groundbreaking of IN2. So let's get things started.
All right, it worked. Believe it or not, that took a lot of work to get this coordinated from Palo Alto. We had a group of students that set up dominoes and filmed them throughout IMSA and cued our students here that worked for a couple of weeks to actually create the Rube Goldberg, and it worked. So, and as sometimes, you know, science doesn't work. Representative Fortner, I had a quote from you just earlier. I was going to use it if that didn't work, but it worked. So I didn't have to go to Plan B. Thank you all for coming today. So what we're going to do now is if you are a science faculty member or you're a student that is positioned around the building or you're in the IRC or you're a musician, go to your posts. Please leave now. Give you a head start from the crowd. All right, then what we're going to do is I'm going to call your by section, and you'll have tour guides. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate through the building. So you'll have 15 minutes sequence.